Hi everyone, in this video we are going to explore some common keyboard shortcuts. Using these shortcuts is going to make it a lot easier for you to use your computer and also a lot faster. So let's get started. The first thing we need to know before we get into shortcuts is one of the common keys that's used for all of these shortcuts, which on a Windows laptop is the control key. So you have the shorthand for control, and this is for Windows. And then if you're on a Mac, that's the command key. So just keep in mind that you'll be using the control or the command button almost always in case of like common keyboard shortcuts. They're very frequently used, and the way they're used is that you will hold down the control key and then press another key in conjunction. So if you're on a Mac, that will be holding down the command key, and at the same time you'll press another button that is going to help you, that is going to perform the shortcut that you want. So the first one we're going to learn is how to copy things. So I'm going to put that in quotation so you know that's not the step and it's the action. And the way to do it is to press Control and C, or on a Mac that would be Command C. So from this point on I'm just going to say Control C, but if you're on a Mac just replace Control with Command. So to show you how this works, I'm just going to copy this text and then press down on the Control button and then press down the letter C on the keyboard. So Control C, and the way we can check that is I'm just gonna right click and click on paste. So if it copied something, it's gonna paste it. So it clearly worked. So the next one we're going to do is the shortcut for paste. So this is Control V. So we'll try this once again. I'm just going to use the first shortcut that we learned, Control C, to copy this text. And then in the next line, I'm going to press Control V and it automatically pasted the text. So I didn't have to right click and select paste from the menu option. Another useful keyboard shortcut is the cut action. So to cut the selected text, for example, you'll use Control plus X. So you press down Control and then press down X. So how this would work is it's similar to copy, but it removes the text that you've selected. So let's just select this text. So I did Control X to cut the text, and then I can press Control V to paste it again. So it's a cut paste action. Oftentimes you'll be either using copy paste or you'll be using cut paste. So these keyboard shortcuts are best used together. This next shortcut is useful in sometimes the most unlikely places. It's the select all action. So this is Control A. When you press Control A, it selects everything. It selects all the text. So you don't have to, normally you would drag your cursor to select everything, but the easiest way to select everything is to just use Control A or Command A. And again, this is often used in conjunction, so you can say Command A and then Command X to remove everything, to cut everything, or you can select Control A and then Control C. The next item on our list is one of my favorite shortcuts, which I use constantly, which allows me to undo any action, and that is Control Z. So I'm just going to do something that I'm gonna regret doing, which is sort of duplicating all of my work here. And instead of, again, selecting everything and deleting all of it, there's a shortcut I can use to just undo my last action, which is to use Control Z. So I'm back to where I started. And by started, I mean it just undid that last action that I did. And you can keep using Control Z multiple times to keep going back in terms of the actions you've done. So if I did Control Z again, I just remove the text that I just wrote. So you can use it as many times as you want. It can be useful in cases where using the backspace button is cumbersome. Another one of my favorites, which helps you find things. This is mainly for text, of course, but this is used as Control F. So right now you can see that at the top right there's an option to search in document. Another way, instead of navigating all the way there, is to press Control F and it takes me right there. Control F, let's say I want to find how to cut something, so I can just search cut and it's gonna give me all of the results where the phrase cut is there in the text. You can use this on web pages as well. So in this Word document, it's really convenient that, we have this option to search in doc, so you don't have to necessarily know the shortcut. But if you are using a web page where there's no way to parse the information on that page, for example, you're looking for something very specific on a page that's really, really long, you can just press Command F to find what you need on that page. This next one will show you how to save things really quickly. So especially this is primarily for when you're using documents and things like that where you've made a change. So to save something, instead of going to File and then selecting Save, you can just click on Control+S, and you'll see right now that this document is just called Document 1. So you might be right to guess that I haven't saved this document yet. So if I did Control+S, it's going to help me save this document somewhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on Save. But this is really, really helpful, especially if you're using an older machine where it's not automatically saving your work, or if you feel like you might lose it. You can just use the shortcut Control+S or Command+S if you're on a Mac. You make sure you don't lose any of your hard work. This next one is useful if you print a lot of things, and if this is like a regular activity. Again, you can make it really easy by using Control-P. So if you do Control-P, it's going to open up this print preview for you, and it's going to tell you which printer, which presets, just the general print preview, and you can just go ahead and click on print here if you wanted. I'm going to cancel this for now, but again, really nifty shortcut, especially if you like printing out your tickets or different web pages or your documents, instead of having to again go and find under File about where to print. You can just easily use that shortcut. This next one you've probably used before. It's generally, I guess, referred to as the escape action, and it's the escape button. So this is one of the exceptions where you don't use Control or Command in the shortcut. It's just the escape button. But I have noticed that a lot of times people kind of struggle with finding how to leave full screen, and the easiest way to do that is to click on the escape button on your keyboard. So I'm going to do that right now, and it should bring me back to my main page. So it's again really, really helpful if you kind of feel confused about which app you're in or it's in full screen. You can just check by clicking on escape. If you click on escape and nothing happens, it probably means that your app is not in full screen, and you just need to look for the menu in the right place. So I'm going to make this full screen again for now. And this next one might be useful for people who write a lot on their computer. So as far as I know, there's no single sort of action word for this one, but this basically deletes a word at a time. So it's gonna be a wordy sort of shortcut to remember. So normally when you want to delete something, you're probably just hitting that backspace or delete button multiple times. But what if you wanted to delete a whole word at a time? You can do that by pressing Control Delete. To do this, this would be Control Delete or Command Delete if you're on a Mac. And just in case Command Delete does not work on the Mac, you can try using Option Delete. So there we go. That's my list of 10 commonly used keyboard shortcuts that will hopefully make using a computer a lot easier and a lot faster for you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.